Hi there, my name's Lee and welcome to Committed to Carp Bedtime Stories. I've got a couple of days off work, so I've decided get the carp rods out and I'm going to try and catch some carp. Now I've got 86 mile due this morning, heading up the M6 towards Lancaster, travelling to Wyreside Lakes and Campsite. I've booked on to Sunny Lake 1. Now I've never fished that lake before, so something new. So I'm going to get the engine started, get the radio on, get that 86 mile done, and I'll see you next at the fishery. Okay, just gone 7 o'clock, the gates have opened. Nice easy drive up the M6. Gonna pop into reception to pay for my 72-hour ticket, and while I'm doing that, you do have to dip your nets, your unhooking mat, your waders and your bait boat and anything else that you might be putting in the lakes here at Wyreside. Now that's just a safety precaution to make sure that you're not spreading any disease or any infection into the lakes at Wyreside. That being said, let's crack on with the video. Sunny Lake 1 is 3.5 acres in size and has 11 pegs. It was originally stocked with carp and pike back in 1999. Over the many years it has been restocked with a healthy stocking programme. Sunny Lake 1 holds about 350 carp, so if you're fishing this lake, you're in with a really good chance of getting a bite. There's roughly 50 carp over £20 and 4 carp over that magical £30 mark. The lake record mirror is £32 and the lake record common currently stands at £29. Okay, had a little walk around the lake and peg 7, which is ideally where I wanted to go, is taken, and peg 8 and 9 on the far bank in the corner also taken. So I've settled into peg 6, which I know is a really good swim because I've been keeping a really good close eye on the catch reports that are posted on Facebook each day. Let's get everything set up and get them rods out. Now all the lakes here at Wyreside have got their own contour maps, which I think is absolutely brilliant, and it will save you a little bit of time when you're using your marker float to try and find them depths. Now I mentioned I was fishing in peg 6. Peg 6 is one of the deepest parts of the lake, along with peg 7, 8, 9 and 10, with the deepest part of the lake being about 10 to 11 foot. That's the bivvy all set up and the rods are out, ready to rock and roll. Found a few spots just out in open water, just in line with the tallest tree just there. It's a silty spot just above a slope as it slopes down into about 6.5 to 7 foot of water. Seems a nice spot. I've got the left and the right rod fishing just above that shelf in 6 foot of water, and the middle rod is slightly over the shelf in the deeper water at 7 foot. Now the reason I've chose those spots is because that little drop off from the 6 foot going down into the 7 foot can make a really nice feature for the carp. Carp will be cruising above that shelf and then below the shelf as well. So I think that is a really nice spot to put the rigs. And speaking of rigs, let's take a look at the 2 different rigs I'm using on this session. I mentioned I was using 2 different rigs. Now this is the rig I've got on the hard gravel spot, tied using £20 IQ2 fluorocarbon hook link, and it's a D-rig. Used a D-rig kicker to make it a little bit easier to tie, and it's got an S7 hard hooker on the bottom, topped with a pink quad pop-up, and that's the rig that's on the middle rod. The rig I'm using on the right and the left rod, fishing in the silt, is a good old reliable Ronnie Rig or spinner rig. Now I've tied this one using £15 N-Trap semi-soft coated braid, and I've used a size 6 spinner hook bobbed. Now if you want to be a bit like Dovey, you can use a crank. In the hook bait I'm using is a DNA bug pop-up. Bit of a chill in the air today. There you go, a quick look at the rigs I'm using. Now let's take a look at the bait. Already in the bait bucket I've got some 6 and 8mm pallets with some 12mm DNA bug boilies, and I've coated them with some of the bug hydrospod liquid. Then give them a real good mix up. I don't mind using my hand because this DNA bug liquid smells like chocolate malt. That's the mix I'm putting out in the spawn. Quite a heavy mix really. 6mm pallets, 8mm pallets and some 12mm DNA bug boilies. Coated him with the DNA bug liquid. Now if I was a carp, I would definitely eat that. Now I haven't put any bait out at the moment. I'm not putting any in at all for now. I like to wait at least 4 or 5 hours just to see if there's any activity across the lake. That's a good indication then where to put the bait and where to put your rigs. Looking for showing carp is a very important part of carp fishing. If you can see the carp showing, then you're in with a better chance of catching them. Now I have been to Wyreside Lakes Fishery and Campsite before, but this is actually my first time fishing Sunny Lake 1, so I don't really know what to expect on this session. Now as I mentioned, I have been keeping an eye on Facebook, so I do know some of the tactics that people use to catch the carp out of Sunny 1. Some anglers have caught the carp using singles, solid bags or even a bigger bed of bait, but putting a bigger bed of bait out isn't really me. My approach to any venue is little and often trying to watch the water as much as possible, because them showing carp will definitely help you to catch them. Been standing outside now for well over 45 minutes and I haven't seen a single carp show. The lake is absolutely flat calm out there. Got the kettle boiling, gonna sit and have a cup of tea and keep my eyes peeled, see if I can see any carp showing or if I can hear any as well. It's always a good idea to keep a visual on the lake. Don't just tuck yourself away in the bivvy and hide out the way. Just want to say the temperatures are dropping as well, but I'm nice and toasty because I've got my lovely Sherpa hoodie on, keeping me warm. Okay, now I've got my cup of tea, I'm ready to start the day. Slight change in the weather this morning, little bit of drizzle in the air, bit of rain. Might change the way that it's been fishing though, because for the last 24 hours I haven't had a single bleep or a bite. It's been very slow. Got some bait in last night, probably, I don't know, 3 spoms at about 10 o'clock, another 3 spoms at about 12 o'clock, and then another 3 spoms at 2 o'clock this morning, hoping that I could entice a bite for the early hours of today. Now I haven't touched my rods, I've left them out all through the morning because the mornings can be a really good time to get bites. I see people wake up at 6 o'clock, the first thing they do is straight out the bivvy and they're recasting all 3 rods. Now I don't like doing that. I like leave my rods in till at least 11 o'clock. Now the rods have been out for about 10 hours. I haven't touched them at all. So maybe one of those will go off. I've also got a little bit of a dilemma this morning. Mark in peg 7 has now gone, and peg 8 and 9 on the other bank are also now free. So do I move? Well, the guys that have been fishing those pegs haven't exactly had it off. The guys that were fishing in 8 and 9 have blanked, and Mark that was fishing in peg 7 has had the 1 carp, a low double at £11. So do I stay in this swim and keep working it, because peg 6 is a really good swim, to be honest with you. I say that, I'm only saying that because I've seen a lot of catch reports on Facebook, and peg 6 does seem to be one of the more prolific pegs. But I think any peg on any lake, given the right day, the right time, can chuck out a carp. Well, that little bit of drizzle that was coming down turned into a shower. Not a bad thing, bit of rain can freshen up the fishing. have no idea what you're saying to me, but I'm sure it involves food. Give me food. Just on my way up to the toilet blocks so I can go get some fresh water, and yet again, like on every session, I've found one of these, and again, no shock leader attached to it. If you put a shock leader on, at least £30 shock leader, this won't happen. Remember that. Next time you're casting one out, ask yourself, have I got a shock leader on? And if not, put one on. That's the water container filled back up again. Plenty bruised for the rest of the night. Making my way back round to the bivvy now, so I can get them rods out rapid. It is autumn and it's going to be going dark very quick. Come on, Truff. Come. Hey. Come on. Come. Come on. Good girl. While Truffle has a good sniff around, I think I better get them back out again, because it is going to be going dark, probably in the next 15 to 20 minutes. What you saying, Truff? Did I do a good job of getting them rods out? Yeah, I think so. Believe it or not, it's only 6:10 and it's already going dark. Okay, 6:30, absolutely pitch black dark. Just got them rods out in time, put some bait out over the top of them. It's just a case of sitting back and see what happens now. Me and Truffle just chilling out. She's having a good fuss. Just one thing I want to say. A lot of people on Facebook, social media in general, just seem to be complaining a lot about how busy day ticket venues are. The one in, one out system, might as well install a turnstile, all of those kind of comments. But I'd just like to say that if you are going to go to these day ticket fisheries, you can expect it to be busy because you're chasing 40 and 50 pound carp. So yeah, people are definitely trying to catch bigger carp all of the time these days, looking for new PBs. I'm currently doing it myself now through this season. Give myself some motivation, some incentive. Else, what are you doing it for? Yeah, it's okay, do it for fun, but it's nice to have a goal, an achievement, a target. And my target this season is a 40 pounder. It's an absolutely beautiful day today, a lot warmer than the last 48 hours. What have I been doing this morning? Well, it's coming up to 10 to 11, so I've reeled all 3 rods in, checked the hook baits are still on and the hooks are still sharp. The hooks are still very sharp. I then recast all 3 rods, which landed absolutely perfect on the spots. Then I've topped up the swim with just a couple of spoms, feeding little and often through the session. Each time I cast, I make sure I hit the clip, and then I know that the bait is falling over my rigs. And not forgetting, also remembering to aim at the tree that I'm using as my skyline marker. And hopefully today is the day I can get a bite, because it has been really quiet. A little bit of an update about how the lake is fishing in general. Well, while I've been sitting here, I've been keeping a close eye on the other pegs, and I've only seen 2 carp caught, and they were both from peg 11. So it's not fishing very great at the moment. Or I'm just simply stressing too much because it's the first time I've fished this lake. I think Truffle's feeling a little bit left out. I've been super obsessed trying to catch carp on this session, so she could play with Scabby Fox for a little bit. As you may or may not know, Truffle's the little heartbreaker of the house, but she's been going through a real rough time of it since August, but I'll get into that in another story. 10 minutes of ragging Scabby Fox, and she's tired. Oh, bless you. Right then, now I've had some tea and this one's asleep, thought I'd just go back to what we're actually doing on this session. Fishing. Try and catch carp. Yeah, I don't understand what's going on, to be honest with you. We've got really low pressure, really low air pressure, so that's great for a bite. It's not mega sunny, it's not mega bright. It's looking pretty good out there, to be honest, so I have no idea why I'm not getting any bites at the moment. When I was talking to a couple of the lads when I first got here, bites were mostly at night, so I don't know, maybe I'm not getting it right, maybe I'm not quite hitting the spots. I doubt that. Somehow it's mint down there on the spot, so the rig should be really presented very well. I don't know, that's carp fishing though, eh? Let's see how it goes going into dark. I'm well prepared tonight, unlike last night. I've got the rods out early on the spot and plenty bait out over the top, about 6 or 7 spawns. Now, I don't know what's going on with the fishing, but it has been really slow. So tonight is my last chance of getting a bite. These autumn nights are getting a lot colder and it's very chilly this morning, but look at that for an absolutely spectacular sunrise. Bit of action on the carp rods throughout the night, bleeps on the middle rod and on the left rod, but sadly no action resulting in a run. No carp landed on this session, but that's carp fishing for you. I suppose it does happen. Can't always come out and catch a carp, but hopefully I have put a good video together for you and you've enjoyed it. The videos are a combination of carp fishing meets storytelling, and this is just one carp video, one story of many more to come, because I've now bought my winter ticket for Wyreside. Now, despite blanking, I really have enjoyed this carp session and putting a video together. So thanks for watching this one, hope you've enjoyed it. I'll catch you next time.